Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. It's the start of another month, and it's time for one of my look back at last month videos. I'm changing the format up a little bit in case you noticed the title and your regular. This video has never had many regular followers, so maybe with a little format change we might get a little bit more following on these videos. Maybe not, I don't know. But if you're new here, these videos I used to talk about the videos you might have wanted to see from me last month. Nobody really cares, and they're there in my channel if you do care, so I don't need to mention them, and give a little bit of stats breakdown of my plays before talking about the new to me games I played in a countdown format. And so I'm going to cut out a lot of the couple of minutes, other than this couple of minutes explaining the change, I guess, of my old videos and just get into the meat of it, and that is talking about my new plays. And I'm going to get rid of the top whatever format and just talk about every game in alphabetical order, kind of a first impressions. So that's what I'm going to start calling these now, the first impressions of the games I played for the first time in the previous month. And we're going to do it alphabetically, at least to start. I might go back to the countdown format because those do kind of get the algorithm a little bit better. But for now, I think I'll just do them in alphabetical order and save the countdown stuff for my mid-year and end-of-year assessments of every new play. So I just want to get into a new little format video talking about first impressions of the new to me games. And for now, in alphabetical order. So without any further ado, we'll start with the game right over my shoulder here. Stefan Feld's Civolution. I love Stefan Feld, at least the games of his I've played. I've not touched his catalog a whole lot, but the 6 or 7 games I've played have all really won me over, and Civolution is no exception at all. I really enjoyed this game. I've only played it solo. It is quite a bit to bring to the table and introduce, and I just haven't been able to do that yet. I've got a few gamers who I know who would be up to it, but most of my normal group probably wouldn't be up to something this heavy and thinky. And that's what this game is. It's really a pretty heavy thinky game that in the end isn't as heavy and thinky as you might believe, despite the 44-page rule book. And like 6 or 7 of those are solo play. So like the standard rule book, once you get past the initial couple pages of here are the components, here's the setup, it's 20 to 30 some pages of actual rules. But that's because there's just so much on it. It's kind of a worker placement game, but your workers are the dice rolls. In Stefan Feld's fashion, you're going to have a pool of your own dice. You're going to roll them, and you're going to put them in the column of the number they belong to, 1 through 6. And then on every turn, you're going to take 2 of those dice to take an action that correspond to those 2 dice. So like if I take a 2 and a 5, I'm going to do an action that is there on my player board of the 2 and 5 action. Or I could take the 5 and 6 and do that action, or the 3 and 4 and do that action. And you're doing actions basically from your player board with your pool of dice, and you can get more dice from the game as you go along. That is the 5 and 6 action, actually, is to add another die to your pool. There are pink dice as well that allow you to help your actions. There are certain actions you take, and you take those success rolls, and the more pink dice you have, the more chance you have at success from that. You start off, everybody just gets success from a die roll of 1, but you can move up that track and improve those successes as well. So there's just a lot of things you can do, but it really boils down to take actions with dice to go out and do those civilization things. You are advancing your civilization by exploring the world. There's a big shared world map, and you can go out and explore those areas. You can farm those minerals produced in those areas and bring them back to your player board, and then you can use those things you farmed to advance various things and make your civilization stronger. And all of it in Stefan Feld fashion is to make points happen. So everything you're doing is to make points happen. You're playing cards in your board to give you stronger capabilities. You're flipping over those actions using advancements. You're achieving certain goals for yourself that you're using to help advance things as well. And again, it's all just going to be points. There is a lot going on, I will admit, but I enjoy the thinky crunchiness and trying to plan out how I'm going to make things happen that I need to make happen, because in the end you're running out of turns, because as you're using the dice, eventually you have to reset, and that reset action is what's driving the timing of the game. As players reset, you're getting closer and closer to ending an age, and you're playing through 4 ages, and at the end of each age, things are going to happen. Weather is going to change. The climate basically is changing, and you're getting benefits or disadvantages from those changes, and you're going to know those ahead of time, because the first thing you do in each age is flip the event card and see what's happening at the end of that age. And it's another thing to race for, because a lot of those are going to be benefits for whoever does a certain thing the best, or for everybody for just doing the certain thing, but the benefit's going to change depending on how well you did that thing. So it's just a lot of management, a good thinkiness. I really enjoyed this one. If you can't tell, I've rambled on way longer than I ever intended to with these first impressions. But I played this one solo 4 times, and every time it made me want to play it again to see how I could do it better, what changes I could make. This is one of those games that you feel like there's just so much more you wanted to do, but the game ended before you could do them. And sometimes that's a bad feeling, but in this case, I think it's an all right feeling. Yes, I would have loved to do those things, but in the end, I kind of cornered myself around building to those things I was trying to do, knowing I might not have the time to do them. All right, enough about that. The next game that I played for the first time back in March of 2025 is Flip 7. And this game is a little card game. I've got the box here. Boom, on the box it says, and I quote, "The greatest card game of all time." Do I agree with that? Maybe, maybe not. It is a really fun push your luck card game where every turn you're just drawing a card, or you're not. Maybe you're holding with what you have. And you're drawing a card, and they're numbered 0 through 12 or 13. I don't remember. 12, I think, is the high card. And playing that card into your tableau in front of you. There are some other cards you can play, such as freezes, or making someone else draw 3 cards immediately, or just additional bonuses that don't count towards your tableau, but in addition to. And all you're doing is, assuming you don't bust, and that is draw 2 of the same value card in the line. As long as you don't do that, whenever you decide to stop, you're going to add your sum of all your cards up and add it to your total. And you're going to keep doing that round after round after round until somebody gets to 200, and then that player is the winner. So it's a bit of a push your luck race game with some known quantities. The better cards, the 12s, there are 12 of them in the deck. So every time you add 12 points to your hand, you're risking a 12 in whatever chance that you're going to bust for drawing another 12. There's only one card, and that's good. That helps you add numbers, but there's only one of them. And the benefit to that is you're not going to draw it again. Because if you ever, at any point, get 7 different numbers in front of you, not counting all the special cards, you immediately end the round and get a bonus 15 points in addition to all 7 of those cards being summed together into your score. So it's a quick little fun push your luck game that is a race to 200 points. I played this online on Board Game Arena, and then I was able to pick up a copy from Walmart and play it with my family, who mostly enjoyed it. They, have other games they enjoy more, but we all did enjoy it, and how quick it played, easy. Flip 7, a welcome addition for a quick filler, fun little card game. All right, the third game I played for the first time in March of 2025 is Horrified, Greek Monsters. A game I've been looking forward to for a while because I do like the Greek mythology, and you're playing with those Greek heroes, and you are also playing with those Greek mythological creatures, such as the Minotaur and Medusa, and I'm trying to remember some of the other ones that are in there. I don't remember off the top of my head right now. Played this at the beginning of the month. I really like Horrified, pick up and deliver, cooperative, defeat the Greek monsters in this case, or just the general monsters in Horrified's case. There's a few different versions of this out now. I've only played the basic, normal, initial Horrified, and now the Greek monsters. And I will say that I was not as impressed as I had hoped with the Greek monsters. I'll have to play it again a few times. But one of the things they added is layers, the concept of layers. And you got to go out around the board and find which layer you need or which layers you need depending on the monsters on the board to defeat them. Because that's kind of step one. Normally, in regular Horrified, step one is turn in X number of things at X place, and then you can move on to, phase two, which is where you actually defeat the monsters. And that's mostly the same in the Greek monsters, but for some of them, you have to actually find their lair first before you can do that step one of actually weakening them. And I didn't really like this, at least in the solo play, because it was just me running around the board trying to find the right one of 4 layers I needed to even start defeating the monster. Meanwhile, the monsters are chasing after me and the villagers, and so I just felt like I never was getting to the point where I was able to play against one monster. I was always kind of a step behind, and that just wasn't fun when you've got this timing mechanism along with this staying alive mechanism and keeping the villagers alive. It was just a lot of chasing things around the board, and I felt like it was an extra step in the process that wasn't necessary. The game already has a complexity on its own just by putting out more monsters, and in my case, less players. If you're playing solo, you're trying to cover the board all by yourself, whereas if you got 2 or 3 heroes out there, you can spread out and divide and conquer. So, I don't know. In the solo play, at least, it felt like it was extra unnecessary work because there's already enough work to do in Horrified. And on top of that, there's a bit of confusion, and I've read this online when trying to look into it myself, that some of the things you need to do aren't clearly defined. It's just kind of go do this. And I didn't even realize I needed to go find the layers until 2 or 3 turns in. I was like, what do I do with these to defeat this person? It's just like in the place, use the things. And I was like, all right, what's the place? And I had to go find out that like the place is actually those things that were flipped face down on the board. And I had to go find the right place that was the place. So it wasn't clear cut, and I didn't even read all the rules about all the monsters because I only played with the 3 I brought out for my game. And so I've read that there are some monsters that it's just as confusing while I was trying to determine from this one monster that people were talking about other monsters having similar confusion with how or what to do and how things were triggered in the correct way. So that's a disappointment. I did have fun playing it. I do like the game. I was just disappointed in the play of my first play of Greek Monsters. All right, my 4th new-to-me game was a game I played on Tabletop Simulator for the first time with one of my buddies from Discord, and it's Paladins of the West Kingdom. I do really enjoy the Garfield games, and I had not played Paladins or Viscounts of the West Kingdom, and we do have a plan at some point to get to Viscounts as well. But Paladins of the West Kingdom is a game that intimidated me at first. I actually looked into this a few years ago, read the rulebook, and was confused at what any of it meant. But now that I'm more into board gaming, there was not really any complexity at all in this game. Basically, you're just taking worker actions to get more actions opened up on the board. You do this because it helps you do that, and when you do that, it helps you do that, and all of it is in an effort to kind of build an engine that works for itself to get things out and uncover abilities and capabilities and points and whatever. You're working up 3 different colored tracks. You're working out in the village. You're using your paladins to help you from round to round do different things differently. A lot of fun. I really enjoy Paladins of the West Kingdom. I could see it being something I pick up at some point for myself to play more solo, or just continue playing on Tabletop Simulator, I guess, as well. But it really was an enjoyable game that I played just the one time on Tabletop Simulator. I had a good time learning it. I do want to go back to it. I don't remember much about it, actually, now that I'm trying to sit here and talk about it, other than I really did enjoy playing it, and I do want to get back to it and uncover the different things and work towards building a better engine than I did the first time, because I got my butt kicked by someone who really knows the game, who didn't hold back at all, and he just managed his engine abilities way better than I did. It took me a few turns to even figure out like what I might be wanting to do, and then I kept, on my own fault, changing kind of my approach with what I wanted to do. All right, the fifth new to me game I played in, geez, I almost said May, in March of 2025 was Praga, Caput, Regni. This game I played once solo and once with my game group here, and they all seemed to enjoy it too. I did enjoy it both plays. In this game, you're using an action wheel, and on that wheel there are 2 different actions. Well, really, there's 6 different actions you can do in the game. 2 of them are paired up on the wheel, and depending on where you take them off on the wheel, you're going to get bonuses or actually have to pay to take the action if it was recently taken, and you still really want to take it. Also, depending on where it is on the wheel, there are different bonus icons you're going to be able to take advantage of, and so you get that bonus in addition to the one of the 2 actions you're taking. What you're doing in this game is you're using those 6 actions to either make your action stronger by taking an upgrade action, or building up to combo things from other actions. And you're using 2 resources, basically. You're using ore or iron or whatever it's called in the game, and coins, of course, like every game, to pay for those abilities. So sometimes you just need to take an action to get yourself those resources once again, and you can use actions to move up and make those resource actions stronger and stronger. And as you move up the track, you're unlocking other abilities and things when you either take those resources or when you push the track to the end. It actually gives you a chance to play on the end game scoring track as well. And what you're doing is you're just building up Prague in the 1600s, I believe. I don't recall exactly offhand. So you're helping building, Charles Bridge. You're helping build the cathedral and the other building that's being built. I don't remember what it is offhand, but there are 2 different tracks that are building those up better. And as you move up those tracks at the end of the game, you're going to score more based on where you are on the track. And depending on which column you're in, you're also going to score based on the red or blue little tokens you've collected along the way as well. So everything's just working towards making those in-game scoring points better. And another action you're taking is to actually build up Prague itself. You're working around plazas to get bonuses for controlling the things around it, or just points for helping build it up to begin with. And so there's just so many different little things you're doing, all in 6 actions, and sometimes you can manage to combo your abilities by turning in windows, and then you can take a double action. So in the game, you really only get, I think, 1632 actions, something like that. I forget the math offhand. Individual turns, but you can use some combo abilities, and I love combo abilities. I love working myself up to benefiting from setting myself up for that future turn. But you do got to manage those resources. Sometimes you think you're setting yourself up and then realize, oh, I don't have what I need to do the thing I thought I was going to do. Or in the case of the not solo game, the other players keep eating the action you want to do, so now you're going to have to pay for it if you really want to do it that badly, or hope it comes around in another turn or 2 as that progress wheel keeps turning. It's a really neat mechanism. I really enjoyed Praga, Caput, Regni. And the last new to me game I played in March of 2025 is a tableau building theme I really enjoy. I love going to theme parks, so I was excited to try Unfair, a little theme park tableau builder. Obviously, you're not really building a theme park that you're playing, but you're using those cards to kind of simulate building a theme park. You're getting rides in, you're getting stalls in, you're using workers to help make your theme park better. You're building it up, basically. And a lot of your actions are going to be upgrading the things on your board, adding things to your rides and restaurants to give them more theming and more desirability, making people want to come in and spend more money on it, because at the end of every round you're going to collect more income based on what you've got out on the board, so that way your next rounds can do bigger and better things with that income you need. So it's really balancing getting the themes and the things you want into your park to score the most points, because you're going to score based on how many different upgrades you have, because the things you collect are going to derive more points from the things you do. And in this game, I've got, I think, 1 expansion included as well. There's very just different theme packs that have more rides or more theming or more restaurants or whatever the case is, and they're going to build up on each other, but it's a shared draft pool that you're buying from to add to your building, so everybody else is also racing for those limited options as well. Again, I only played the solo, so the solo players just kind of taking them away from you, but it all works the same in the end. And I really look forward to getting this played with other players, because the unfairness of it is there are event cards you can play against each other to take things away from them. So I'm curious how that plays out. I'm not normally someone who likes that play style, and I know Funfair, a different game from the same company, kind of fixed that aspect of it to make it more group friendly play. But I am excited to at least try this once in that format of the kind of unfair play style, and really I've got some people who really do like that, in your face mechanism. So I do want to play this with them and see how it plays in an actual group and not solo. But those are the 6 new to me games I played in March, and I really enjoyed all of them for the most part. Like I said, I like Horrified, but the Greek Monsters, it didn't feel as good. Unfair, I think it has room for improvement, or maybe not, depending on how I play with others. But Civolution, I love. Flip 7, lots of fun. Paladins, I really look forward to playing again. Praga, Caput, Regni, I really enjoyed. So for the month, as far as first impressions, I really enjoyed these games. Some of them maybe not as much as others, but all of them I look forward to at least playing one more time to really feel out how I actually feel about it. And that's the case with first impressions. It's a first impression. Some of them are good first impressions, and maybe they die out in the long run. Some might not be as good first impressions, and then you grow to like them as you play them more. And so that's why I like this little format change, because, I enjoyed every play. I love playing the games, so there's nothing I didn't enjoy playing to some extent, and I look forward to at least giving them all another chance to see how they grow or don't grow with me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment below what you've been playing or what you think of these plays and the format change especially. Is this working for you if I ignore kind of the beginning rambling of the videos and my stats and stuff and get into brass tacks? Do you want me to bring back the countdown style, or do you like this alphabetical, just talk about it style? Let me know in the comments below for sure, and subscribe if you haven't already, so that way you can come back and see more videos from me. I appreciate you being here, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.